Both McCain and Obama are having troubles not only with each other, but with their own parties. Rachel, interesting about that last point, in our poll, Barr seems to be really pulling votes away from McCain, even if it's not a large number.
Sure, and you're seeing Ron Paul, remember? I mean, He's got 18,000 people, just moved to a larger venue. That's going to be a competing event with the second night of the Republican convention. Ron Paul's become a bit of a mainstream punchline, but he's really moving people in enthusiasm on the Republican side. I think those guys need to be reckoned with. All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks very much to a terrific panel tonight. Remember, you can play with the panel each weeknight here.
When our forefathers came to this land, they had no ambition to solve world problems, no desire to build an empire. They came to escape the religious intolerance, the overtaxation, and the endless wars of the old world. They came for freedom, peace, and prosperity. They left their home countries to start over in a new and unknown land, with no promise of security and no desire for handout from the government. Through hard work and self-reliance, they built the most free, prosperous, and peaceful country the world had ever seen. They didn't want a government to support them from cradle to grave. They wanted a government that would do for the people only what the people could not do for themselves. This is our Republican tradition.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this DVD and to learn about the opportunities for conservative Republican delegates. It's easy to forget that the election is not about the candidates. It's about the American people. It's about our families, our children, our country's future. As you think about and study the candidates, you fulfill your great and historic responsibility to preserve and defend and restore the Republican values that our nation was founded on.
If you could change this country for the better, would you? What could you do for your country? What could you do for our future? Will you leave me a country as free as the one you grew up in?
Our highest leaders are not chosen by the common people. They are chosen from some of the wisest and most responsible among us. The delegates' responsibility is to the American people of this generation and those to come, not to any campaign or candidate. It's their honor and duty to preserve and defend the principles upon which this nation was founded. How can they fulfill this duty? By studying the contenders and selecting the candidate who will best serve our great nation. You, our Republican delegates, are the ultimate guardians of the Republic. It is you who must study the Republican candidates, study what they say, study how they have voted, and learn their reputations. If you do this, you will choose a leader who is worthy to be president of our nation. Unprotected borders, an overextended military, and the worst recession in generations, incessant liberal encroachment on our freedoms and on the right to life. These are the most important issues of our time. Which of the candidates has spent his entire career defending those conservative principles and constitutional rights? Who but the man that the National Taxpayers Union named Taxpayer's Friend 10 times? Who but the only presidential candidate to receive an A+ rating from the gun owners of America? Who but the only remaining candidate to score highest in the Family Research Council's official scorecard? Who but the man who delivered over 4,000 babies and is the prime sponsor of a bill to overturn Roe v. Wade? Who but the man John McCain himself has called the most honest man in Congress? Who but the man Pat Buchanan calls the most classically conservative presidential candidate? Who but Ron Paul? Throughout history, rare men have emerged from the ranks of common politicians to inspire and lead us through troubled times. We call such men statesmen. Men like Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Reagan were statesmen in the highest tradition of our country. Today, another statesman, Ron Paul, stands humbly before us, ready to honor, defend, and protect our republic. The choice is yours. You, our delegates, are not required to choose as the liberal media has said you must. You have been delegated to choose for us the best candidate. If anyone wants you to choose a more liberal candidate, you should vote your conscience. We are a party of conservatives, and we need you to choose the best conservative leader.
Thank you again for being a Republican delegate. The future is in your hands. If you could change this country for the better, would you?
I believe I can speak for all Republicans in saying we want a Republican Party united behind the best conservative candidate. When the Republican National Convention has concluded, will you be able to say you fulfilled your responsibility to choose and elect the best? We, and millions of others, have studied both the words and the voting records of the candidates, and we have made our decision. In a world where conservative values are being eroded every day by the government and in the media, one man from Texas, a statesman, in the mold of Thomas Jefferson and a friend of Ronald Reagan, has stubbornly defended the values we hold dear and our forefathers fought to protect. His name is Ron Paul, and it is our honor to support him.
We hope that it will be your honor to nominate and vote for him. You can give America a leader we can be proud of. Let's stand together for truth, highest integrity, a party united, behind the most conservative and the most Republican choice for America.
I'm Ron Paul. I'm a congressman from Texas, serving in my 10th term. I am the champion of the Constitution.
It's my future.
Of Energy.
No, we don't need a Department of Energy.
How will we get energy?
The market will do it. Supply and
This is
demand.
just unnecessary?
Oh yeah, there's no need. That serves the interest of big business. So if government needs an energy policy, what they're saying is, how do we take taxpayers' money and put the money in R&D, and which big company is going to get the largesse from the government? That's the kind of thing that encourages.
What's wrong with that? The wise elites in Washington will pick the best investment.
Well, it might end up that the subsidies might go to producing ethanol from corn, and it might turn out
it is going there.
It might turn out it wasn't the best investment. You know, maybe it cost too much to make the ethanol, but somebody made some profits off it.
Other cabinet departments: Department of Agriculture, Commerce, Health and Human Services, Housing and Urban Development. You'd get rid of all of them?
Yeah, of course, that's not on the immediate agenda, but in theory, they're unnecessary, and we should think about what kind of a country we would have without these departments. And I think we would have a better country, and all those problems that they're supposed to solve, I think, would be lessened.
Commerce Department? We don't need the Commerce Department to have commerce?
No, absolutely not.
Homeland Security, isn't that a role for the federal government?
Not really, not the way that's designed. That's the biggest bureaucracy of them all. There's some parts of that department that are okay. You know, they put the Coast Guard in there, and they put FEMA in there, and everybody's bunched together. No, Homeland Security, how's it been taken care of for all these years? Pretty well. And I think it was failure of government on 9/11, not the fact that we didn't have the Department of Homeland